Only people that'll be listed as questionable will be Davante and Kobie. Kobie's going to be able to, go today. Feel good. It's kind of semantical. So unless there's setbacks that are unforeseen, expect those guys to be ready to go. And we're looking forward to a great game on Sunday.
What was your reaction to the lawsuit yesterday against Alaric?
Yeah, I was made aware of that. As with any of those things, especially as a legal manner, keep those things in-house. That's kind of been consistent since I've been here, how we kind of deal with those things out of respect for the process. And so this isn't something that, we weren't aware of, and it's very, clear communication and understanding of it, and keep it, kind of to that. Hopefully you guys can respect that.
Will there be any more discipline? I know he had the 2-game suspension by the NFL. Will you guys contemplate any
That's
other
not something
discipline?
that we're talking about right now. And like I said, we're keeping those things in house, and this is something that was a previous incident, and so as it goes through that process, we'll kind of deal with those things behind the scenes. But was made aware. There won't be any actions as it relates to Alaric as far as his status for the game this week.
Were there any considerations to the nature of these allegations during contract negotiations during the winter?
Yeah, all of these things, hopefully, I really do respect and appreciate your question, but just want to be able to, out of just consistency for how we handle these things, kind of keep that stuff in-house. And I apologize because I do, understand you guys have a job to do, but that's kind of been par for the course with how we want to be able to handle it out of respect for the situation, and that's kind of going to be consistent with what I say on those things. So do appreciate your guys' understanding on that.
I guess what I'd be interested in is there anything new in this lawsuit that
Not
you
to my
guys
understanding.
didn't already know?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not exactly sure what is out there for your guys' awareness, but long story short, I was made aware of the situation that dates back, a little bit, longer, a long time ago, and so that's kind of where we'll keep it.
You mentioned earlier how practice players contribute to the team. I'm wondering if you can go more in depth or more specifically about how they contribute to your successes this season.
Yeah. We always talk about, the practice, performance, and preparation equal in game reality. And I think in a lot of instances, because all 17 games have such significant value, you have to use practice as opportunities to get better. It's not the MLB where you play 162 games. It's not the NHL or the NBA where you're playing 82 regular season games, and you kind of sometimes have the luxury of being able to use those performances as a chance to be able to get guys experience. And so, when you're talking about the look teams and the looks that they're trying to replicate, especially on these Wednesdays, Thursdays, and the minimal reps that we get on Friday, it is key and critical. And I look at it as that, hey, we've got 53 guys on the active roster. We got a handful of guys on our practice squad, but they're all Rams, and they know how valuable it is. And you see, I know this, our guys really appreciate and value the contributions that everybody has that lead towards hopefully getting those results that we want on Sunday. And I think it's our job to be able to continuously find ways to call guys up on what a great job that they're doing, and that's been consistent with this group for sure.
Will Kobie and Davante practice on Thursday?
Who's that?
Kobie and Davante.
Kobie, so Kobie Turner will be limited and Davante will be limited, so they'll take part in some of the reps.
With Kobie, what is the nature of the back?
He's just had some soreness, Adam. This is something that, when you're playing the position that he does, and, naturally, the physical nature of this game, especially that position. And so he's so tough, but there is an element of, when you have some of the experience that he has, feeling a little bit sore, let's be smart where you can manage his workload throughout the course of the week. And you say, what's the best thing to be able to get him to Sunday? He's so intentional with his mental approach. And, talking with he and Reggie, felt like that was kind of the best course of action for this week. And really, in a lot of instances, it was the same with Davante and his oblique. And so you never pigeonhole yourself into a one-size-fits-all, but with these two guys and the examples that they set, the experience that they have and the way that they approach things above the neck, felt like that was going to be best for them, and being ready to roll on Sunday.
Feel good about just the progress Davante's had throughout the week and getting back to practice?
I do, yeah, and he was able to get out there and do some routes on air. Looked really good. He's responded really well, and the look. I feel good about when I talk to him and somebody that understands where does he need to be to do what he's capable of doing on a weekly basis. And right after the game, I got a sense of confidence, and then I think as the weeks progressed, he's got that look in his eye that we know he'll be ready to go.
Talk often about eliminating distractions
Yep.
for players. Are you concerned at all with Alaric's situation, that's how that's going to affect him and his performance.
You talk
with
about
that
those
going on in
things.
the background.
I think it's very important that you always have communication, and you're aware of it. You acknowledge it, and you kind of let them know based on those personal conversations that go on. But I don't get the sense that I think he's done a great job of being able to focus on the things that he can control, and you acknowledge it. You talk to him about it, but I haven't gotten that sense.
Coach, this
Did he address the
No.
Coach, this game has significant NFC West implications. How are you keeping the team focused?
I think you try to be consistent with your process. It's the big game because it's the next game for us. And whether you're talking about against the 49ers, against Jacksonville a few weeks ago, New Orleans, we try to be consistent with our rhythm, our routine, our approach, and then we always try to be able to adjust and adapt if necessary. But I want to continue to see our guys continuously take steps with their preparation. I love the way that this group has gone about it, and I know they're excited because it's our next game.
You said you love the way this group has gone about it.
Yeah.
It is the first time in a few years you guys have this record where you're coming into this game. It's a big matchup. How are you trying to sort of implement staying focused, staying humble, which is something you kind of say week in and week out?
I think the consistency of our rhythm. How do we go about it? Are you sensing a heightened awareness, or are you sensing a consistent rhythm and routine? And you're focusing on the opponent and the things that are necessary, but it still does go back to us doing what we're capable of doing at a high clip. And I think those guys have felt like, hey, I think when I think that the truest measurement of performance is consistency. I think when the guys know what they're going to get from their coaches on a weekly and a daily basis, I think that continues to build that trust. And I'm seeing guys that are earning the right to be able to improve. We really always talk about this, Aaron. You either get better or you get worse. And I think these guys have consistently committed to getting better with the things that they can control. And it is a big game because it's our next game. And we really believe that. And we've been in situations where, every single week you just focus on being totally and completely present. Everybody talks about it, but how often are you really about it? How much can you realize we can't play the game right now? All we can do is have a great Friday, excellent Saturday, walkthrough and preparation. And then what our goal is to really allow these guys to get to Sunday so that they can really have a peace in the process, go play with a quieted mind, and ultimately have the courage to go cut it loose and let's freaking roll.
How do you like practicing in the rain, Davante?
I don't like it at all. Good. Made some big strides this week, so looking forward to playing.
Like, in terms of strides, just feeling less tightness back there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, essentially. I mean, it's more than tightness. It's pain, but that's subsided a lot now, though.
Is the pain in that specific area? Does that limit you in anything, or is there anything that's made harder by that?
Nope. I'll be same OG out there, same thing. It shouldn't really change anything. It's just more of like what I can deal with, the comfort, and before it was kind of more debilitating, but more I think it's just how much I can put up with. But it's come a long way, feeling good.
After a couple of years on teams that weren't in positions like you guys are in now, what's the excitement level going into a matchup for you like this? 2-7-2 teams fighting for the division.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played a game where, later in the season or halfway through, both teams are in a good spot. So, I mean, that's what you play for the meaningful games that happen, after Halloween or, around Thanksgiving time. Like, these are the ones that add up and mean the most for, playoff implications. And all we can do is focus on where we're at right now. But it's obviously a big game we got to make sure we're locked in on and we're excited about.
What's the challenge going up against a defense that can mix up zone and man as effectively as the Seahawks do?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as the challenge of going up a team like us who can run it and pass it. Being multi-dimensional is essential to being a good team in this league, and they've definitely figured that part out.
You guys are going to wear an alternate uniform for this game. You've been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
Does that kind of thing get you any more excited than wearing a regular outfit, or how do you approach it?
Leading up to it, yeah. When you're in the game, I'm not like, you're not thinking about that when it's showtime. But when you see him sitting back there in the equipment room, it's definitely exciting looking at him. And because I think I wore black uniforms with the Jets last year, and they were pretty cool ones too. But these ones are up there.